Good evening, world. This is Genvièv, and you are on Genvièv TV, your channel for forensic and clinical education. So today, I'm still here in the midst of the global chaos. And today I want to bring you a subject that I think it's important for all of us to begin to talk about. And that subject is emotional abuse and emotional manipulation, beginning with what looks like will very likely be an ongoing series in which we will talk about how to recognize, identify, and most importantly, how to evade emotional manipulators and emotional abusers. We will study together the abusive tactics that emotional manipulators use to exert coercive control over you and discuss what you can do to regain control of your life and escape their entrapment. I will be doing a giveaway at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned until the end. And first, we have to understand and realize that the roots of finding yourself in that situation goes back to childhood. When you are a child and when you're being abused, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or all of the above, you do not stop loving the abuser. What you do is you stop loving yourself. And that basically is the depth and the severity of the lasting damage left behind by childhood trauma. You're basically brainwashed to love abusers and to guilt, shame, and blame yourself for the abuse that is forced onto you. And therefore, to continue attempting to soothe, appease, and please abusers who will never stop harming you. This is a brain programming that is called trauma bonding. Hello, Patrick. Shirley, thank you for joining me. It's late today. I've been fiddling with the light here. So hopefully you'll see me clearly until the very end. Gerardo, mucho gusto. So this is a brain programming that is called trauma bonding, and that's exactly how abusers keep you trapped while you're coerced into an endless mission of restoring the peace, appeasing, and pleasing the abuser. This is, by the way, a trauma response. You end up bending over backwards, forgiving the unforgivable, time and again, over and over, even when your life is endangered, even when the abusive partner shows you beyond the shadow of a doubt that your safety, your wellness, your happiness, your joy are of no relevance whatsoever. Even when you're physically harmed, even when you're repeatedly abandoned to face danger totally alone, you continue forgiving. Because every time you somehow find the strength to push yourself back up, walk away, turn around, and resume your own life, of course, they come back with bombardment of message, text, calls, emails, letters in the mail, show up at your door with gifts and flowers and explanation, and the loop goes on. With every single round, the abuse only gets worse. All of their promises are false promises, always without fail. Why? Because it is their MO, their modus operandi. They never deliver. Their promises are only a ploy that is attempted to get what they want from you, to control you. In their mind, they're never meant to be fulfilled. They're only a line that's thrown to catch you, and they will continually attempt to convince you and the rest of the world that they're normal, caring, loving beings and that you are the one at fault, when truly they're not. It's their own personal gain they're seeking every step of the way, solely and from the very start. And the flags will be there from the start. They're grooming you with false adoration, false devotion, false promises, solely so you become attached to the idea of the ideation of that romantic relationship that they're presenting to you. And they're relentless. It's also one of the telltale signs, by the way, relentless chasing initially, even when you indicate that you're not interested, relentless abuse once you're in the relationship, abuse and fights that go on for hours and hours that turn into days and weeks and months without relenting. Because the moment you begin to identify who they are, the moment you get that clarity, is the moment that the real abuse will start. The bullying, the threats, the coercive control, the intimidation, until you become so weakened, so depleted, and so drained, because those cycles of abuse are absolutely fundamentally exhausting, that they feel at that point, with you becoming so depleted and so weak, that they can get anything they want from you or destroy you, demolish you entirely. So it is a pattern. It's a pattern. You will see the pattern repeating itself constantly over and over. It's a pattern they also replicate with everybody that gets close to them. Everybody. It's just a matter of time. Emotional manipulators study their targets with intense focus. The goal of that research is to precisely identify your most vulnerable wounds, what harms you the most, so that they can use those wounds as a tactical strategy to inflict maximum damage, maximum pain. The goal here is to crush you as powerfully as they possibly can, so they can then have full control over you. So I have a few signs here that I'm going to share with you. I'm reading your comment. Saludos desde Guadalajara. Wow, I wish I were in Guadalajara, Gerardo. To be honest, Patrick states, I was raised by the champion of mental and physical abusers. It was horrid. Yes, and of course, that's what we are being brainwashed to believe, that who we are deserves to be abused. We're being brainwashed to believe that if you love me, you'll abuse me. And we're being brainwashed to embark on a mission to please the abusers. So I'm going to read you. You have a few notes, that I just want to share with you. It's actually a quiz, a Q&A. So these are signs, these are examples, right? And I'm going to ask you what you think about those. If you're intimidated, bullied, cornered, and demanded or prohibited to send a text message to a decade-long friend, is this an okay behavior? You have a friend, you have colleagues, you have work colleagues that you are interacting with, and while the other person is constantly on the phone, if they spot you sending a message to a decade-long friend, they suddenly express it as being unacceptable. Is that an okay behavior? To all of you, I'm asking. The response is no. That is a sign of coercive control. That's where it starts. They're trying to dominate you and impose exactly the type of behaviors that they want from you. And isolating, depriving you from your friends, from your contacts, is one of the very well-known tactics of coercive control. Being slammed down because you did text a message to a friend because before they indicated that you were not allowed to do so, being slammed down violently and your spine dangerously compressed, leaving you with agonizing pains for days. Is that okay? No, that's physical abuse, actually. Being pinned down and forced to say, I love you, in the middle of an hour after hour after hour long fight where they are so adamant that you can't even share a word anymore. And eventually they look at you, they pin you down and they say, I love you to you, and you don't say anything back because your eyes are stupefied in shock. First of all, you couldn't even speak if you tried to. And then they embark on that rageful demand that when they say, I love you, you have to say, I love you back. They demand it. They say, I demand it right now. Is this okay behavior? Is this loving behavior? Is this normal behavior? No, this is, again, coercive control. Being forcefully denied the right to retreat when you've served the person for an entire day at executive events and attended and operated to support you, to support them and surround them and help them with their goals, and it's midnight and you tell them, hey, you know, you can stay as long as you want, I'm going to retreat because I'm really tired, and you're cornered and blocked and attacked verbally because you do not have the right to retreat. Again, coercive control. And then we're going to go into gaslighting. You may have heard about gaslighting. Gaslighting is when the abuser will deny your reality and attempt to make you believe that you are crazy, that your reality exactly as you lived it did not exist. And they're so convincing and so adamant that it creates a cognitive dissonance in your mind. Your mind is starting to spin, saying, I don't understand, this just happened. And they're basically denying your reality, pretending it's all in your mind, pretending you're making things up. That's a typical sign of abusive behavior, by the way. So for instance, you're in a discussion with them and it's belligerent and they're telling you, you know, you're the one I'm trying to love. And you say, trying to love? And they look back at you and say, I've never said that. And you look at them and you say, you just did. They said, no, I didn't. And so you look at them and you say, wow, this is scary. And they say, no, you're scary. So you see, it's constant projection, constant denying of what just happened until your mind begins to spin so much that you don't even understand what's real and what's wrong. And basically, you know, cognitive dissonance creates intense stress because you don't understand how somebody can completely deny facts and realities that just happen. And the stress and the anxiety turns into embarrassment, shame, blame, and basically the collapse of your self-worth. And then also with these type of personalities, we will find pathological lying, for instance, and it's always attempting to prove to you that you are at fault for everything and that you are broken and malfunctioning. And by crushing your self-worth, they're leading you to completely lose your belief in yourself, which makes you a much more easy prey to target. So for instance, they're coming back from a breakfast that you missed and tell you, well, you should be, you know, they're basically shaming you because you didn't attend the breakfast and leading you to believe that everybody is thinking very poorly of you because you missed the breakfast that day. And then you ask them, oh, really? I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to be there. And they tell you, well, let me ask you this. How do you think everyone reacts when we're all together at breakfast and you are not? How do you think that makes you look? And so, of course, that creates immense shame, and you feel mortified, you feel devastated, you feel absolutely just horrible about yourself, and that's the whole goal. And so in the pathological lying, in a story like this, you run into the group later on during the day, and because you feel so bad, you tell the group, I'm so sorry I missed breakfast today. Was it fun? Did you all have fun together? And the group looks at you and goes, we have never been at breakfast together the entire time. Nobody, it's always been by themselves. And so you see, you look at the abuser who just moments prior made you feel awful for not attending breakfast. And you ask them, why did you tell me? And they will tell you, I've never said that. So you cannot win. You cannot win in these situations. Hi, Jeff. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. By the way, I want to thank all of you who, wow, bring so much warmth to my heart and surrounds me. You know, I have an incredible circle of support. It just moves me. And some of you I've known for a long time, like Jeff Campanero, all the way from the East Coast, and others here who are so amazing at always reminding me that my work, even when it's attacked viciously, has a purpose, and that my work is not in vain. And it's just to help everybody out there who's experiencing difficulties recognize the sign, recognize what's going on, and know what to do when you're in those situations. So remember, I work with every one of you. It's actually the core of my practice is to help each and every one of you survive from adversity, rise again from the ashes of obliteration, because traumatic abuse, emotional manipulation is so destructive. It leads you to doubt everything about yourself. It leads you to destroy, it leads you to be entirely destroyed. And that's the whole goal. That's the goal of the abuser, is they take somebody they want to gain from. Because remember, emotional manipulators, emotional abusers, emotional predators, basically, they're not in the relationship to build something with you. They're in the relationship to take from you everything they possibly can. And when you begin to discover this, they will embark on the attack, even rejecting you physically and leading you to believe that you are no longer desirable, that they want nothing to do with you, which, by the way, that's the end sign, because you cannot recover for something like this. You know, I have a card with me that I wrote a long time ago, my creed, and I put a few points up there on my creed, and one of them is I will never, ever, I will never remain in a relationship where I'm led to believe that I'm just discarded and non-desirable. And that's another way that they have to crush you so that you have nothing left standing. So to all of you out there who need help surviving and rising again from the ashes of obliteration, from traumatic abuse, I am here to help you. I work one-on-one from my practice remotely today, wherever you are in the world. I'm a board-certified forensic and clinical hypnosis educator with the NGH. I'm an emergency medicine first responder. I have a lifelong experience in researching trauma responses. I work with your licensed medical team. Of course, you know, we're not licensed medical providers. I basically train you to understand what's going on and rebuild your sense of worth, rebuild your sense of self, and embark in a life where, you know, in the end, you function better than before, because that is really what abusers do to us. They're coaches in a way, horrifically cruel and abusive coaches, but they're forcing us to identify what's still fractured within us, the early life wounds, and to focus on those wounds, to rebuild from our ashes and recover our purpose, our zest for life, our freedom, our passion, and continue to share what we have to share with the world and continue to function much better than we were before. So the giveaway I mentioned at the beginning of the video is a one-on-one consultation with me at no cost. To enter the contest, simply go to my YouTube channel, and that is youtube.com/Genvièv TV. And what you need to do is first subscribe. It's free. There is a red subscribe button. Click also on the arrow that, or the bell that notifies you when new content is uploaded. So subscribing, clicking on the bell, and then like the video, of course, share it with someone you feel might benefit, and comment underneath the video on youtube.com/Genvièv TV saying that you are interested in the giveaway to win the consultation, and I will pick a winner later this week. And as always, everybody, stay strong. Hi, Tidra. Patrick, I know I have challenged her. Yeah, you know, we do, but it's important to understand, you know, I work with a lot of trauma survivors, and it creates trauma is like the fire that creates the strongest steel. And when we take the hits and we collapse, you know, and we attempt to soothe those who are harming us and be tender and be kind, once it's started, that loop, nothing you do will please them. They will continue becoming more and more cruel, in purposely toying with you, coming back, leaving, coming back, leaving, coming back, leaving, bringing gift, leaving. I mean, it's a game. It's a cat and mouse game, and it's sick. And basically, it turns your life into living hell. Who wants to live this way? That's not what life is supposed to be. Life is supposed to be a joy, a dance, right? Especially within two people who claim to adore each other. I back you up, you back me up. You stumble, I pick you up. I stumble, you pick me up. And of course, you know, relationships are always going to have issues. That's the given. That's the given of relationship. And when there's issues, it's about understanding what hurts the other person and finding strategies so that we don't activate those hurts. And that's what we do when we're not manipulative abusers. We attempt to find solutions. And on the other side of the target, when on the other side of the coin, when you're with an emotional manipulator, whether it's an antisocial or an NPD, malignant NPD, and actually not all NPD are antisocial, but all antisocials have an narcissistic traits, very, very strongly so. And when you're with somebody like this, they will purposely identify your wounds and stab you in it so they can. So it's not about helping you, it's about harming you as much as they can. So just remember that. And I will continue tuning up because I'm here to help all of you guys. So thank you for tuning in today. It's such a pleasure seeing all of you. Gianni, Todd, La Trinidad, Margot, Luai, thank you all for joining me. It's such a pleasure seeing all of you. And I'm very, very touched with I'm here. I love it. So I will continue, and we will study signs and symptoms, and we will study ways in which you can regain your self-esteem. So if you want to contact me directly, I'm at genvievhypnosis.com, and remember to log on to my channel, my YouTube channel, that's youtube.com/GenvièveTV, and write your comments underneath, like, share, subscribe, so that you can be accounted in the giveaway for this week. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful week. Stay strong, stay safe, and I will see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.